Hi, kiddos. Here we are, Science Day. Woohoo! I'm going to show you how to plant your sunflower seeds that I put together for you. I put a kit together for you, and these are the things that are in your kit right here in front of me. You have 2 plastic cups, and they probably look the same, but they are different. One of them will hold a little bit of water, which you're going to need about that much water today for this activity, maybe even less. And then the other cup won't hold water because if you look very carefully on the bottom of the cup, I've cut some slits in it so that it has holes in the bottom. That's the one we're going to be using to plant our sunflower. You also have a bag of soil, and you have another little baggie with 3 little sunflower seeds in them. Don't lose those. We're going to use those at the end, so keep them in the baggie for now. I'm going to set those to the side. You'll want to put just about 1 inch of water in your cup that will hold water. I probably have more water than I need. I'm going to probably need to actually dump some of mine out before we finish. What you're going to do is you're going to take that little tiny bit of water and you're going to pour some in your bag and then zip the baggie back up. The soil that I used is called seed starting soil, and it comes with no moisture in it. It's really dry, but our seeds are going to need that water and that moisture for the seed coat to dissolve and split open. So we want to make sure that we start with some moist soil. So open your bag up just a little bit and pour in just a drizzle of water. Start with a little bit because you can always add some more. You don't want it to turn into mud, so don't put in too much. I'm going to start with that much, and you can see how much water I still have in my cup too. I still have quite a bit in there, so don't try to pour the whole thing in there. Zip your baggie up before you mix it so that it doesn't make a huge mess. You also might get some sort of a placemat, newspaper, or you know how we have our great big art mats that we use at school to keep our desktops clean and to keep the kidney table clean. You don't want to get dirt all over the place on mom and dad's table, so use something for a placemat. After I have that water in there, I'm going to mix it up. Let the soil get a little bit wet. It's not going to be the consistency of mud. It's more going to be like a crumbly type of Play-Doh kind of. So you don't want it to be soaking wet. You just want it a little bit moist. We can always water our sunflower seeds from the top if they need them. So I am going to add just a drizzle more. I think my soil is still a little too dry. So just another little drizzle in there. And get that all mixed in. Oh, that's much better. I can already tell. You want it to stick to itself a little bit into little tiny clumps, but not in a big clump. If it's sticking in a big clump, you got too much water in there. I don't know what to tell you, but it'll dry out. Try not to use too much though. All right. I'm going to take that soil now, and I'm going to take the cup that has the slits cut in it. There's a piece of the slit that I cut out. Take the cup that has the holes in the bottom, and you're going to put the soil in your cup. I didn't measure the soil, so I don't know if you have more than will fill up your cup, but you want the soil to come to about 1 inch before the top of the cup. That's how much soil you want to put in. I'm not going to pack it down at first. I'm only going to pour it in at first. So, oh, and you know what? I don't want dirt under my fingernails, so I'm going to wear some gloves. You don't have to do this, and I didn't put gloves in your kit. So I figured you can probably live with it. But I'm a little bit of a wuss, and I don't want dirt under my fingernails. I wear these same gloves when I plant my flowers at my house, too. All right. Keeping it on my mat so I don't get dirt on mom and dad's table. I'm gonna pour my dirt into the cup. Maybe I'm thinking it might work better if you scoop it into the cup with your hand because I'm kind of making a mess. I don't know. You choose your strategy. They're both making a mess. All right. So I do still have a little bit of soil left over. I might need more after I pack it down. When you pack down soil, you don't want to use your hand and push it down really tight because the soil needs to have some air bubbles in it. We want the water to be able to travel through that soil. We want the roots to be able to easily get through the soil. So we're not going to pack it down really tight. What I am going to do is I'm going to take the cup, put my hand over the top, and I'm going to tap it down on the table. That's going to pack that soil down on top of itself just enough to give us a little bit more room in our cup, but not so much that the water and the nutrients and the roots can't get through the soil. So cover up that cup with the top of your hand so that the soil doesn't come popping out the top, and just tap it on your table a couple times. You'll notice my soil went from all the way up here to down here when I tapped that. So that extra soil I have, I'm going to go ahead and add some more and tap that down again. All right, perfect. The next step is to put in our seeds. So before you plant your seeds, you need to make a divot for your seeds to be in. Different types of seeds like to be planted at different depths. Sunflower seeds like to be planted between 1/2 inch and 1 inch deep. So what I would suggest is that on your finger, if you look at where your knuckle bends, you're going to make a hole in your soil up to your first knuckle, and you can use your pointer finger to do that. Just one hole. We're going to put all 3 of our seeds in the same hole, and you want it right in the middle of your soil. So I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to make a little divot in my soil using my fingertip. That is the hole that my sunflower seeds are going to live in. I'm taking my sunflower seeds out of my baggie now, and I'm going to put them on my white paper towel so that we can look at them before I plant them. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, here are our sunflower seeds. And when you look at those, do you notice that they look just like the same kind of sunflower seeds that you would eat? You can't eat these sunflower seeds though. These ones came out of a package that I bought at the store to plant in our cups. And this variety is called a mammoth Russian sunflower. And mammoth is a synonym for the word big. These are one of the biggest sunflowers you can buy, and they'll grow to be up to 12 feet tall. That will be almost as tall as some of your houses, the bottom of the roof. That will be as tall as some of your houses. So these sunflower seeds, even though they look like the ones you can eat, these were not made to eat. These ones were made for planting. Some sunflower seeds, when they produce them, you can eat them, but that's not this variety. I'm going to take all 3 of those seeds in their shell, and I'm going to drop them in our little divot that we made. The reason we put 3 of them in there is because seeds don't always all germinate. Out of those 3 seeds, I'm hoping to get 1 or 2 of my plants to germinate. And then after they germinate, we'll go in and we'll pick the strongest plant to keep because we only want 1 plant in our cup. So I'm going to cover the seeds up with the soil. And again, I'm not going to pack it down. I don't want to pack it down. I want them to have room to breathe. I'm just going to brush the soil over on top of the seeds so that they're covered up. They don't want any light to be seeing the seeds. They need to be in complete dark to be able to germinate. So there, your sunflower seeds are planted. You don't need to do anything else to those. I need to step away for just a second and dump out this extra water because I need to use this cup for the bottom of my cup. Actually, why don't you follow me? We're going to go into the kitchen. I hope it's clean. My mom just said, of course it's clean. Okay, notice that I'm holding my cup underneath it so that none of the soil falls out in Mom's house. I'm going to dump out that extra water. And then the reason I gave you this extra cup is it's going to slip over your other cup. What that does is when we water it, I'm going to water it from Mom's sink very carefully. It's going to keep the water from drizzling out the bottom of the cup. I don't want the water to come all the way up in the cup, just enough to keep it wet. So I'm going to turn the water on really slowly. And I'm just gonna let that drizzle over the top of my plant until it is wet. That's probably good. Okay, the last thing that you'll want to do, let's go back out to the dining room table. The last thing you'll want to do for your sunflower while it's in this stage is we want to create a little greenhouse for it. What that does is it makes the moisture come up and stay in the cup. Right now, the way it is, when the moisture evaporates, it's just going to go out into the environment. If we take that little baggie that we had that our seeds were in and we open it up and fit it over the top of our cup, that one's not going to fit. You're going to have to use your soil bag. Fit it over the top of the cup. What that will do is when the moisture comes up out of the soil, it's going to hit the plastic. Little droplets are going to form and they'll drop back down into the cup to keep that moisture in the cup. Now, your sunflower seed's going to take a couple days to germinate. Once it germinates and it's grown about a half an inch to an inch out of the cup, then you can take the plastic off. While the plastic is on, you'll want to make sure you keep it moist. Check that seed growing chart that I put in your packet to see how long it should take for those seeds to germinate. And make sure that after you've planted your seeds that you go and complete your diary of a seed page. I hope you had fun, boys and girls. I can't wait to see your sunflowers.